Okay, so we're going to do a quick share from Likutei Halachos, keep up our relationship flow. This will be the 11th session, and we'll put underneath in the description all the previous summary points that are helpful, especially right now. First, Elena Sukkah Shalamecha, we're sitting in the Sukkah. Shpizin de Moshe Rabbeinu, this is the Halula from Rabbi Nachman, and there's no way I couldn't learn a bit of Likutei Halachos in Rabbi Nachman. We did some Likutei Maharan already on the Shpizin de Yitzchak down the road. And now usually we'd do this at Shir David, but Baruch Hashem, I'm in my own sukkah, family sukkah, and it's the best place to do a bit of relationship flow. And the chizuk is that we were at a concert last night with Nissan Black and Aaron Holder and Uriah and all the other wonderful guys, Dov Bear, Miller, all the beautiful souls that sing and entertain Am Yisrael and bring some light through music. There was a lot of light there last night in the Moshe Festival. But now, so have Shabbos, Sukkot, and it's, as we said, a Shpizin de Moshe. And instead of it just being a day of preparing for Shabbos, we can also do a little bit of learning and chizuk on what is the whole avoda of finding these nekudas tovas and bringing them out in themselves, and how does it connect with nigunim, with music, and with avodas Hashem. That says Rabbi Nosson, the Talmud of Rabbi Nachman, whose Hilula is today is Rabbi Nachman. It follows that the essence of the concept of awakening from spiritual slumber comes about through good points that a person finds in himself. Even when he is on a very low spiritual level, God forbid, and this is through uncovering the good points. Melodies are made because you choose the good notes. We see this empirically. Listening to music inspires yearning. It generates a desire for greater closeness to Hashem. For me, that was the big nekuda that Rabbi Nosson focuses on. Man attaches himself to Hashem from this physical world primarily through melody and song. That was the famous statement I heard when I was in Svat, right at the beginning of my journey in Yiddishkeit, and they said the bridge between the body and the soul is music. It's the guna, the Heiko Nagina, Heiko Mashiach. This is the place which aroused my soul, United Souls. Nekuda that woke up my soul to this panemius was Jewish nigunim, Jewish songs, even songs not Jewish like Bob Marley or other kinds of music as well also awakened me at certain times. This was, and even my own music, my own development of music, but the bridge between the body and the soul is nigina, is music. You bring out the good notes, you bring out the good points, and it wakes you up. So we learn also with Sukkot. Sukkot David HaNefolos, the Likutei Halachos in Hilchos Sukkot talks about how not only is he giving us big advice through the Sukkah, but he's also lifting up all the fallen souls, the souls who are the lowest souls. David HaMelech's Chevra were the souls who seem to be the lowest. Really, they're the highest. But the Nekuda is they're bringing them out from the state of being nofo, fallen, and somech Hashem. The skach is the Ram is on being somech on Hashem. And there's a lot of Torahs about this, about Sukkot, Somech Hashem, Lechon Neflim is Rosh Teva Sukkah. The whole idea that all the Neflim should be able to have a place which get elevated, and that's the David HaMelech's Chevra. David HaMelech was a Baal Menagin, was busy with Klei Nagina, picking out the good notes. That was how he wrote Tehillim. So this is very appropriate with Sukkot, a Shpizin of Moshe, with the Hilul of Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman's and Talmud is teaching us these important points. And as I said before, this was a big part of my own journey in tshuva. During the night, the time assigned for sleep, the Shekhinah then performs birurim, raising the sparks of holiness that have fallen among the klipos, as it is known from Kabbalistic teachings. Yeah, this is all in the first Torah of Likutei Halachos Sif Vav. That it says here, Zer meremes al hanal Misgaber bechinas hashena al odem. The act of playing music, which involves separating the good notes from the bad notes to create a beautiful melody, so too with the spiritual birurim, we have to choose the good ruach over the ruach of gloom and despair. This hints to what was discussed above, namely that when the spiritual aspects of sleep, which corresponds to the dark night, overcomes a person, azai sarech lavachish achapesh motzav atzmo nekudas tovas, it's precisely then he must seek and search in order to find good points inside himself. By dezen is ore mishanaso canal. Through this act of biruah, he will wake up from his sleep, as mentioned above. Yeah, so we have to realize that the night, and we know that Hoshana Rabbah is a very appropriate night, the Shpizin de David, that we wake up the night. on Hoshana Rabbah. We put a little bit more extra avoda in the night. We have a tish. We learn a bit more, push ourselves a little bit more with Tehillim. And it gives us koach to mevara and bring out the ruach tov, the good spirit. Yeah, this is the Nakud. We have a not good ruach coming at us. We have to separate ourselves from that and tune into the good spirit within. Zeh b'chinas azkarab niginasi b'layla im levavi asicha v'chapesh ruchi. So it's a verse in Tehillim. I recall my melody in the night. I commune with my heart, and my ruach searches. Shebalayla choshech b'hina sheina. Night is sleep. As I im levavi asicha v'chapesh ruchi. In the spiritual night, darkness classifies as sleep. I commune with my heart, for my ruach searches. Shan mechapesh mevakish a ruach tova. B'chinas netchuda tova oidei zeh nice in the gudim canal. I search for, seek out the good ruach, which corresponds to the good points, and these melodies are made. Like we had last night, all the negudim from the Moshav, all the negudim from our Chelbanah, from Unity Bookings, all these special artists we're working with, they drew out good nekudas. Like Dov Bear sang with the Solomon brothers one day. He was bringing out the nekudah of yichud, of oneness. B'chinas azkarab and niganasi b'layla canal. This being the meaning of I recall my melody in the night, as mentioned above. And his aim is gabel es oim mishanoso. In addition to a spiritual awakening, discovering one's good points also helps a person pray. So now we're awake by overcoming the desire for sleep to wake himself up. Aidei nekudas tova shemotza ba'atzmo kanal. Aidei zeh ikka tikkun Tefilah. Now you can go daven, because this is the primary tikkun of prayer, comes by virtue of the good points he finds in himself. And the Eight Torah ones, especially like you see the Halul Rabbi Nachman, everyone has a later night, everyone is out more, they're waking up late, and suddenly the Eight Torah says, what you did last night, Gornish, all the big avodah of dancing and Simchas Beis Shoeva and being with Tzaddikim, being in Yerushalayim, wherever you were with Halul Rabbi Nachman, Nissan Black mentioned it on the stage. He called out to everyone, everyone should light a candle, which we did. And we should, he mentioned to all the Chevra in the Moshav, this is Hulad Rabbi Nachman, and we all need to scream from the deepest place to Hashem to save us, and that's the Hashanas that we've been doing. But the Nekudah is that, so you're going to have the Eitzorah come and tell you the opposite. You didn't do anything last night. So what's the avodah? Comes Rabbi Nachman's or Dafka in the day when you're feeling not the most geschmack. Yeah, there you have to find a Ruach Tova, and that's the key to davening. B'chinas azama alakai ba'odi canal. And we've talked about this Torah from Reish Pei Beis again and again. For my God, which I was singing to that little bit left, that tiny bit, the odd mat. Yeah, that's the whole Torah Reish Pei Beis. And also we know we daven it every day in the Hallelujahs. Yeah, Azam Alakai Ba'odi. It's in our Hallelujah and Pezukah Zimra. So now Zeh B'chinas Seder Tefilah. Now we're going to go into the aspect of in order of Shachris prayer. We're about to daven Be'ez Hashem. For those waking up a bit later, we're standing in the world of Asiyah, Korbanos, and Ketorus. That's what we're holding before we get to the Olam of Yetzirah, which is Pezukah Zimra, and then we get to the blessings of Kriya Shema. That's the word of Bria, and then we go into the Shemon Esrei, which is Atzilus. It's a whole deep journey of Olamus and Panemius. In the reminder of this, we're going into different worlds. Yeah, Rabbi Nosson would demonstrate an order in which Chazal arranged the four stages of Shachris parallels the four stages of the good points. Ascent from klipos into perfected dibur, speech. So when you start off in Amatzia, you're going to the bathroom, you're cleaning your body. Slowly now you're bringing korbanos, cleaning the olam hazeh, with all the Ketorus and all the different avodas. We're going to talk about the Chelbanah and everything. You're cleaning this world, and slowly you start getting more and more refined as you go up to higher worlds till you're in the place of Atzilus, which is the rectified speech. You're standing in front of Lifnei Hashem. Hashem says, you're in a state of Tefilah. Zeh b'chinas Seder Tefilah. Shebechinas omim korbanos Ketorus. Shem b'chinas bururim. You start off with the korbanos Ketorus, and this is the concept of clarifications, fixing up this lower world. Motzim mevorim nekudas Torah. How do you do it? By drawing out the good points. Tefilah b'chinas b'hamius b'taklis asiyah kiyudah. That is finding and refining the good points, even from the lowly aspects of the animalistic desires, from the nethermost level of the world of Atziyah. And that's why, now it's Erev Shabbos, and it's Sukkot. When you come to Shabbos, the Li'olamus, there's no Bechina of Olam Behemius or Bechinas Behemius on Shabbos. Everything's oneg. It's Anig Hashem. If you're keeping Shabbos properly, you get to the level where everything is elevated. Ki Zeh Ikke Bechinas HaKorban Alas Behema Adam. For this is the primary aspect of the Korban, namely to elevate the fallen sparks of holiness from the level of animal to the level of man. But on a Stama day, not a Sukkot day, but a Stama day in the week, in the middle of Tavis or whatever, you're going to feel that animal soul holding you back, and the spirit of gloomness, God forbid. You got to find it, spirit of good, of ruach tov, and you got to tune in to the Nekudas Tovus and to elevate those fallen sparks that are on the level of animal, and in the world of Asiyah, the animal level of man. And this is the bira of the relates to the Ketorus. We already mentioned in our relationship flow session, one of the sessions further back, this Indian of Chelbanah, the Rav Simai's Chelbanah. It'd scream out Chelbanah. Yeah, he's Kilo the Chelbanah. We mentioned Charlie Kirk, the idea that he maybe is a Chelbanah for our generation as well. The Indian of that person who comes to bring the shlemus of the Ketorus, of the 10 korbanos that were killed that week, same as Charlie, and hopefully no more. So he doesn't say about any non-Jews in this text. He's talking about the Poshei Yisrael. In other words, are finding the good, even the Jewish sinners who are likened to the Chelbanah. They're robbers, as you're saying. That's the whole Indian of Hashanah, which we spoke about with Likutei Maran. Takas of all the robbers, of the Havata, the banging on the ground, of the 5 Aravos, Mamtik, the 5 Ketorus. We talked about it already. This is said to what Chazal learned from this, that any prayer that does not also include the prayers of Jewish sinners is not a suitable prayer. So really, if you say, I need to be this Mitzianim, this Yeshiva Mitzianim, this Minyan Mitzianim, that's not really actually Nachon. Aaron Yosef into this. Sibor is Tzaddik, Beinanim Rishoyim. And you have to have the Poshei Yisrael. So Rav Simai would hold himself like he's the Poshei Yisrael, the Minyan in Nachzanko. That's why he said, like he's that person, yeah? So obviously not, in my eyes, he's a tzaddik, but the understanding is you have to have that Poshei Yisrael to mashlim the Minyan. And that's the key. Have a good Erev Shabbos. That's the Ketorus. Nothing brings greater to Torah Hashem than when those far away return to Him. As it says underneath, based on Rabbeinu Bachai, or Bachia, however you're going to say it. You know how to say it, yeah. Hadar Teacher College is not a congregation, its fasts and prayers and effect unless its number also includes sinners. Just as the Chelbanah has left to give other spices of right pugnancy. For a congregation prayers to be effective, they must include the prayers of someone who has fallen and now yearns to do tshuva. So there's no better time. Now it makes sense of the son. Rachamei Hashem lanu sukkahs David and the fullest. Dafka we singing at the end of benching, and throughout the whole sukkah we're singing this kneged. You know, one of the most viral video of mine recently. I mean, it's not viral in terms of larger influence people out there, whatever they call them. But for me, just in my Pashto, channel, is Rav Shlomo Katz singing Yehuda Katz. Moshe Shabbos this last week was Harachmanu. Harachmanu had discussed to be in their home and video it. And that people are into that niggin. It's the big niggin of Sukkot. It's almost like Shlomo made a joke. So Shlomo Katz, it's almost like the niggin of Sukkot. So what's Peshat? So there's lots of Peshatim. But here we're getting a Peshat. The Nephilim are part of the Aravot of Sukkot. Because Sukkah Achas, it's Actus. We're all coming together, Sukkot. No one can be excluded. No one can be missing. So we need to do the shaking of the Lulav and Esrog. We have the Aravos. We need the Aravos to do it b'shlemus, and that's an important point that we didn't mention yet. That I wanted to mention that the seven types of spheres and with a lot of an esrog, there's 7 of them. I mean, I know you can add the Mosif, but really in terms of the amount of Hadassim and things like that. But most of Klal Yisrael only has 7. So you have 3 Hadassim, 3 Hadassim, 2 Aravos, 1 Esrog and 1 Lulav. That's 7. Connected to 7 spheres. If you go through the special Tefilah, it says Avram is Yaakov's the Dasim, the Avos, Moshe and Aaron, which is where we are now in the Sukkos. Moshe and Aaron is the Aravos. We're dealing with the Avodah of Aravos. And then the Lulav is the 6th day. It's Kneged Yisod, and that's Netzachod Yisod. And then Malchus is the Esrog. So you have and each person, not only the spheres, but each person has lips, which is the Aravos, has eyes, the Dasim, has the spine, which is the Lulav, and the Esrog. And all the different directions we shake is also connected the 7 spheres. So the right is Chesed, the left is Gevurah, and you work on each midah. Yeah, forward is Teferes, up is Netzach, down is Hod, and behind is Yisod, and Malchus is internalization, bringing it into yourself. But the Nekuda is when you're shaking the Lulav and doing this avoda, you're fixing all the different midot and you're bringing more Kedusha into this world, and you're taking the Or Maki for the Sukkah and bringing it to Or Ponim, into Panemius. I saw this from Moshe Wilson yesterday by the Rebbe, by the Talmud Rebbe. By the way, it was a very big schus to go there and get chizuk with the Rebbe, to thank Hashem, and we get the schus to see a Rebbe doing that in the Nuim, the way ideally a Yid should be zocher to have those oiris and to do the avodah with such a focus and sensitivity. See how focused he is, and he doesn't mishana his avodah each time. It's full avodah. Each of the different nanum, the shakings, every day of Sukkot, and there's a lot of oiris, a lot of singing, a lot of panemius going on, and it was supposed to be there to watch that yesterday. And Baruch Hashem, we should be zocher to see tzaddikim shaking the lulav and esrog. But the point is, they have the Aravot there. They have the fallen aspects, the fallen Jews, the Peshay Yisrael are with them. You can't have a kosher lulav and esrog without the Aravos. Without the Aravos, why the Aravos are fallen? Because they get dry and they don't really have any tam or reach, no smell or taste like the lulav and esrog does. They don't have the smell of the hadassim. They don't have the Torah, the mitzvahs. They just have, they're there. They exist. They're zamalakai ba'odi, my existence. The little bit of existence I have, that's also meaningful, and it makes kosher the whole daled minim. And then you have a kosher set of lulav and esrog. Without them, you don't. You can get the nice lulav and esrog, but if you don't have the aravos, you're not kosher. So this, you see how the tzaddik is shaking the aravos also. And just like on Hashanah Rabbah, banging and waking up the aravos. But this is the idea, bringing it together with this concept. So let's see, we'll finish off now. Yeah, we're able to pray to Hashem and voices praises. Oh, here we are. Finding Kamosh Shalamda was Enazal Kol Tefilah She'ein Bo Tefilah Peshay Yisrael Eina B'Tefilah. And then it says Ki Ikar Tefilah B'chinas Ketorus. But the essence of prayer is in the aspect of Ketorus. Aidei Mevarin Motzin Nekudas Tovas Tefilah Peshay Yisrael B'chinas Chelbanah, as we already just said. Zeh B'chinas Echad Asa Samanei Ketorus. That's why there's 11 spices of Ketorus. Hanu Asara Samanim Hu Chelbanah. For the 10 fragrance spices aside from the Chelbanah, Zeh B'chinas Asara Minei Zimra. Shem Naisa Ayidei Shemavarim Motzin Tov Shem Peshay Yisrael B'chinas Chelbanah. So it beautifully ends off this whole Torah that the 10 types of spices with the Chelbanah correspond to the 10 types of melody which are made by refining and finding the good points in the Jewish sinners, who themselves are the aspect of the 11th ingredient, which is the Chelbanah. You see, it all comes together, and you have these 10 special songs of praise that we know is Tikkun Klali, and invokes the power of the 10 types of melody, the spheres of holiness, which affect Tikkun and remedy for the immoral sexual behavior, which is the biggest Tikkun before Mashiach comes. The 10 styles and their relationship to the 10 psalms that make up the Tikkun Klali. And you can go to Rabbi Nachman's Tikkun and other svarim from Brezov.org and learn about the Tikkun Klali. But we'll just end off now. It's Chai Tishrei Zoche Bez Hashem, to tune in to good notes, the Nekudas Tovas, to get chizuk from the tzaddikim, but also realize that we get chizuk from everyone, from the Nekudas Tovas and Klaisor, to get mechazik from the good kosher nigunim and bringing out the good notes of everybody, to mechazik ourselves every day in davening, and realize the koch, even from beginning of davening with the Ketorus. Don't miss over Ketorus. People like to just go straight to Pazukah Zimra. Ketorus is Mevara Olam Asir. It's very important to fix up this world and bring out the Nekudas Tovas in this world. And even the Chelbanah, even the Peshay Yisrael is close to Hashem, is part of the avodah, just like we said with the Lulav and Esrog, the Nanuim and the Tzaddikim, Hazan Arava, the Hashanah Rabbah, waking them up, like David HaMelech's avodah on Hashanah Rabbah, which we zoche Bez Hashem, to all these Hashpaz Tovas, and Bez Hashem we zoche to a good Kavitul, a good Chasima, the complete Chasima from Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is Hashanah Rabbah, and Bez Hashem then we can enter Simchas Torah and dance with the Torah, internalize everything that we've done, this whole avodah of Tishrei, and bring it together into our home after we exit the Sukkah, and bring all that light into our home, into our year, and make Tashim Peivav a year of Puravu, a year of bracha, of blessing, and with Mashiach Sekenu b'mehei b'meinu amen.